Hi, and welcome to Diversity in the Community. I am so proud and happy to have these wonderful ladies with me today. And I'm going to step out the picture in a moment because I know that they are close to the message that we're going to have today. And so I'm going to have Paula Williams to kind of run everything today. And this is such a sensitive subject, but it's also a celebration of people who have gone through. But I'm gonna let them tell you more about it. So I thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm just gonna step out and I'm gonna turn this over to Paula, and I'll talk to you in a minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. We're so happy to be here tonight. My name is Paula Williams. I am a Windsor resident and I am a 2-year breast cancer survivor. And I am here with these lovely ladies. We have Maggie Gardner, Yolanda Brenham,
Braham.
Braham. I know I was going to get it wrong. And Hillary Brown. And we are going to share a little bit about our journey. We're going to share a little bit about Gardner's House. And we're just going to have a little conversation. The cameras are not even here. We're just sitting talking.
Exactly.
So when I first found out that I had breast cancer, I did not know where to go. I did not know of any resources available. I did not even know how to begin this journey. And a friend of mine, Deborah Sutherland, handed me a little post-it, like literally a post-it note, and it said Maggie Gardner in Gardner's House. So I called the number. She called me back. She told me that she had a nonprofit organization on Albany Ave in Hartford. She's located in the Colin Bennett building. And I went there to see her. She was like, come right in. She welcomed me and my husband in. And she kind of educated us on her journey, which we're going to hear about today. And then she also gave me this pink bag that was filled with everything that I needed to bring to the hospital, down to even the antibacterial soap. So the soap, the toothbrush, toothpaste, to the point where I didn't need to bring anything with me except my clothes because everything I needed was in this little bag. And this bag was so much more than just a bag with like toiletries. It gave me courage. I left there holding something that I could bring with me along for this journey. And so I found out that Maggie has a nonprofit where she helps people that are new to this cancer journey. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, thank you, Paula. As you hear, my name is Maggie Gardner. I am a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So it's not just the organization, it's I myself. And a lot of people ask the question, how did Gardner's House come about? So I let them know that as a 2-time breast cancer survivor, I had the opportunity to have resources at the first time. So it was very, very easy to get back on my feet with the healing, because the mind and the body has to come together in order to heal properly. So because I didn't have to worry about, when I say resources, I mean like rent, gas, like just basic needs. So it was much, much easier for me to get back on my feet, get back into society, and continue on life. Life as I knew it was not the same, but I was able to adapt to how it was at that particular time. The second time it came, when the cancer returned, I didn't have a job. I lost just about everything. Actually, I was in England, so I came back to America and I had to start from the bottom, and it was not easy. When you go through a disease like that and you go looking for resources, a lot of people may be having a bad day and they don't know your story, but they treated you like if you're less than, and that can really knock you down, even your self-esteem. So when I go from one person to the next, sorry, we can't help you. You don't have any children. You're not qualified. If you have a little, let's say $500 in the bank, you've got to get rid of that first before the system can actually assist you. That was so humiliating that I fell into depression. It was not the cancer that did me in. It was the way how I was treated And because of that, life as it was back then was not worth living. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. But God is good. He looked out for me. And even when I did not understand why I was going through all that trauma, one thing I purposed myself was to never ask why me. And up until today, I never asked. Because what I did, I blame myself. And that was not good either, but I rather to take the blame than to ask God, why he allowed this to happen. I said it's the luck of the draw. So because of that, that's how Gardner's House was created. Because I was also in healthcare and helping people, it was so much easy for me to help people. So when I go to the various support group meetings, I would hear people's story and I say, wow, they're talking about me. So their story was my story. And in order for me to survive as a survivor and a human being, literally, I came to being homeless. So what I did, I focused on helping other people. And by focusing on helping other people, it helped me. Because by the time I'm finished, I'm so tired, I forgot exactly what was going on with me. And that is how Gardner's House started. I started with one person. I didn't know what I was doing, but God was there. Even when I filed for the 501c3, a lot of people said to me, oh, you'll never get it. But I know if it's one time in my entire life I had faith, it was then. So every paper or every leaf or every form that I did, I pray over it, put it in the envelope, and send it off to the IRS. And a couple of months later, I just leave it in God's hand. And I got the results. So from then, here we are. This was in 2007. So fast forward, God has been able to help me to help others. And in turn, when I help others, it in turn helped me. And I am good. I am good. I'm satisfied. I'm happy because I know where I came from. I know what God have done for me. And not only that, but the organization, I've met some lovely, lovely, lovely survivors and family along the way. So later on, I'm going to tell you the resources and so what we give. So, Miss Paula.
Yeah, so now we're going to and thank you. We're going to turn it over to Yolanda. Talk a little bit about your journey and then how you found out about Gardner's House.
I am Yolanda Braham. So I was diagnosed in 2020, the year of the pandemic, when people were dying like crazy, the anxiety and all that. I had missed my mammogram in 2019 because I was working, had to go to school at the same time, and also I had an aunt that was dying too from breast cancer. So I happened to heard of the mobile van that came to First Choice, and I went, and that's where I did my mammogram. And then after that, I was called in saying that they saw something suspicious and they want to do another mammogram. I went to Hartford Hospital and I did the mammogram, and it was concluded that it was malignant. And the only thing is, and it is sad, but I like to talk about God's blessing. So mine was the size of a sand grain. So I wasn't at a stage. And they had said to me, if I want to wait, like for 6 months, and I'd tell them, oh no. So we did the biopsies and the mammograms, and it was a very lonely journey. It was a time of the pandemic. No one could come to you at the hospital, so I had to do that alone. So when I did the test, and we had come to the conclusion that I was going to do a lumpectomy, did the lumpectomy in October of the same year, 2020. 4 days after that lumpectomy surgery, I was called in saying that they didn't caught all the cancer. So I had to do a mastectomy this time because they said that they had taken out so much tissues, and so that they couldn't spare my breast. So I did that surgery, and it was such a lonely time. Financially too, it was a struggle. I wasn't working. It was a time of the pandemic. People were laid off from their job, and it was a crazy, crazy time. And my hurt in this, I had no symptom, no symptom at all. Just went for my mammogram. But through that all, I met Miss Maggie through a friend. I worked at Macy's at that time. I had met this customer, Cindy, and we were talking, and I was sharing with her what I'm going through. And she said, you know, I have this friend. Her name is Maggie Gardner. She's also a survivor, and she helps people that is going through the same thing. So she gave me her number. I called Miss Maggie, and we talked, and her reception towards me was as if we had met such a long time. I couldn't see her, but it's like you were seeing her because of her personality, how she makes you feel comfortable, how she reassures you that everything's gonna be okay. And even with my rent and everything that I was worried about, because, you know, I've always been an independent person, always learned to depend on me, and to be in that position, to know where you are, in that, you know, it was hard to accept. And yeah, so when we talked, I felt as if she was like family. My parents, they couldn't come here because of the pandemic. They had their visas, my family. Nobody could come because of the pandemic. So I was like, I like to use a little Jamaican term. I felt like fish out of water, you know, but God, but God. And then we finally met, and it was like we have known each other a long time. She was always supportive. Things that I don't feel comfortable to share with others, I was able to share it with her. And she had helped me through this journey. I am so appreciative of her. I'm appreciative of her vision, that God gave it to her and she didn't sit on it. She ran with it. And so many people are being helped through Gardner's House. Not preaching politics, but I want to say this. The people that we vote for, the people that we put in the position that in times like these that we need, they're never there. I also went and somebody told me at the Cancer Center to apply for disability. I was told that I'm not eligible because I was not in the US for over 10 years. And so I was turned down. So I'm saying I'm hurt by this because these are the things that we need to vote for. These are the people, when we're making decision, to put into the position to take care of us. These are the things that we need to think about before actually voting. Because I don't think it's fair for non-profit organization should be going through the level of to get support, finances to help when we already put people in the position to take care of us. And that was my hurt too. And even made me proud of Miss Maggie, more proud of her, that because of what she had experienced, and she didn't sit on it. Because sometimes God has blessed us with visions and we just sit on it, but she didn't. She ran with it, and it has been helping so much people. She's not getting anything from it. I just want people to know, that people out there that would like to contribute, to know that this is not for her. This is for us and other people that is going to be diagnosed, whether man, woman, or boy. Because we have breasts, but men have breasts too. So they're sometimes diagnosed with breast cancer too, and other cancers. And so I'm asking everyone out there, support Gardner's House. It doesn't matter how small it is, even if it's your time. Because we're not only looking for money. If you have a talent, if it's something you can do, if you can assist her in the office, anything, no matter how small it is. And God gave us talents, and He gave us it for us to use, not only for ourselves, but to help others. And that's why I am so, so proud. I might sound like a scratch record, but I'm so proud of Gardner's House. I'm so proud of Miss Maggie, Paula too, since she become a part of the the group. She has done so much. She has made us so aware of what is out there, the assistance that we can get, and you really educate us, and I want to tell you thank you for that. I also want to thank the persons that are in charge of having us here too. I am so grateful. But I just want to say to women too who are being fearful of doing their mammogram, it's not something to be afraid of. It's better to know than not to know, because sometimes fear causes us to lose our life by why we are fearful. That's when the cancer is there in our bodies taking over. I was blessed and I'm blessed to I'm still at stage 0, even though I did that surgery. I am so grateful to God, and I just want to encourage young people. So it's not even 45 again, it's any age. I've heard of a young person, 25, is dying from breast cancer. So the awareness, I just want us to be more aware as women, boy or girl, just to examine ourselves, what signs, no matter how simple it look, don't take it for granted. And I'm happy that I went and got that done, and it was caught early. So thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I've never knew your story before. So now, Miss Hillary, some people find out that they have breast cancer and they don't want anyone to know. Some people are very quiet about it. I never judge people whether they decide. Some people will whisper in my ear, I have breast cancer, but I don't want anyone to know. Or I've been following your journey, but I was there every step of the way, but I don't want people to know about me personally. And I know when my husband came to the point where my hair was just falling out like cotton candy, we put it on Facebook. We asked people to pray for me. Over 5,000 people watched me go bald within 24 hours. And then I just felt like this is my audience. These are the people that are going to pray for me. And I was a firm believer that when the prayers went up, that the blessing, the healing would come down. Amen. And then I came across Hillary, who was a 2019 100 Women of Color with me. Miss Teresa is an alumni. Miss Maggie is an alumni, so we come from a good group. And one day, same thing, I was on Facebook and I saw that Hillary now is a part of this community that nobody actually signs up for. And she decided to be transparent as well. So you want to talk about how you found out and why you ended up on this panel today?
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go back a little bit. I was diagnosed in April, right after my 52nd birthday. So I was like, oh, happy birthday, huh? But I started out the year just feeling very fatigued, very tired. And I would probably say that is about the only symptom that I got that said something isn't right. The other thing that I've been getting mammals since my 27th birthday because breast cancer, along with other cancers, run in my family. Okay. Last year, both of my oldest daughters, my 30 and my 29-year-old at that time, said, Mom, we're having babies. So I have now 2 beautiful grandsons, 3 months and 4 months.
Congratulations.
Okay. So that being said, because of the person I am, I tend to be transparent with life. This is a life that we're living. This is not something that's just subjected to me. And I'm a firm believer of helping women be the best, be them best selves and be their number one priorities, right? I said to my doctor, okay, so, I'm having grandsons at some point here. I said, with so many things in my family, my family's medical history, I really need to know what it is that I have to combat at some point in my life that would prevent me from seeing my grandsons grow up. I'm that person that thinks ahead like that, right?
Okay.
So, in that being said, and my doctor, she's such a sweetheart. She is and this is my new doctor who I started seeing, I want to say last year. because my other doctor retired. My doctor who I've been going to for 27 years, she retired. So I've found me a new doctor, and I love her. I love her to death because she listens. So she said, okay, we'll see what we can do. She called me around April and said, well, got the insurance to approve it because a genetics test, you have to pay for that. Yeah. Well, we got the insurance to approve that I can get a genetics test because of my family history. So when I got diagnosed and when I met with the surgeon says it had to be like a Wednesday or Thursday. I met with the surgeon. Well, you're going to have to get a genetics test. I said, oh, well, I got that scheduled on Monday. Well, she's like, they're going to call you probably sooner. I said, well, I can't imagine they'll call me any sooner because I'm going on Monday to see them. And I already started this before I understood that I was going to be diagnosed with breast cancer, right? That being said, that's whirlwind why and how. And I don't know, I didn't ask myself, why not me? Because why not me, right? Who am I to question what God has put on me? That is my mentality. I'm not religious by any means. I tell people I'm spiritual. I grew up in church. I understand the saints. I know what that looks like when they speak to you. So, that being said, I am spiritual. First and foremost, I know God for myself. And because I know God for myself, I can tell you, I didn't internalize my diagnosis, and I didn't want to say I didn't want it to be like something that defined me, because it didn't. This to me is, as you know, I'm very busy bee.
Yes.
If you know me on social media, it's honeybee. That's what they call me, because I'm very, very busy. I am in everything that you can possibly put your hands on. I'm the person in the background just doing things, right? I said, maybe God just needed me to sit down, right? And when God commands your attention, he will figure it out. And that's what he did. So not only did he just give me one tumor, he gave me two. And he gave me two tumors, to which I still have no clue how to say the names of them, because it's such a long technical name, right? One is positive, one is negative. One is aggressive, one isn't. That's what I know. But that being said, two tumors right next to each other, right breast. Stage 1 and stage 2, right? I said, okay, God, look at you, huh? You've got jokes. And that went from, okay, so of course I had this nice European vacation booked. This is my first vacation without the entourage, meaning my family. I was going by myself to Europe. I said to my doctors, my oncologist, the surgeon said, you got to talk to the oncologist. I said to the oncologist, well, the surgeon said I have to talk to you, but this trip is already paid for. I can't lose my money. I said, if we're going to do anything, it has to be done when I come back. So, I went through May, June came, I went on vacation, came back, and then it was, you need to get a port. Okay, so got my port installed on June 28th. July 2nd was my first treatment. And I went from that, and I've been in treatment since. It was weekly up until maybe about a month or two ago. Now I'm every 3 weeks. My last treatment is December 3rd. And per my oncologist, we might have to do one more depending on when surgery is going to be scheduled, to which my surgery will be scheduled on or before the end of this year, I was told.
Okay.
So I don't know what that looks like yet, because I haven't met with my surgeon again.
Yes.
So, but all that being said, in the meantime, I decided to share my journey because it wasn't going to be a dirty little secret that I had cancer. I'm not the first. I'm not the only. There's more to people to come. Again, as you said, there are 20-something-year-olds getting cancer. My issue with the insurance is that they're not targeting us until like age 40.
That's what I'm saying.
Here, I have young kids that could possibly, eventually at some point, get this disease. What's to stop them? How are they going to know? I think the screening needs to be done sooner, right?
Yeah.
Because again, sometimes we don't get symptoms. Right. So a lot of us are sick, walking around sick, and we don't even know it.
I didn't have any
And
symptoms.
I didn't have
when I sit and think of the fact that I eat clean. And I mean, when I said I eat clean, my doctor was just like, you can't change your diet anymore, because I can't. I eat greens, I barely eat meat. I only eat fish. And even now, at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I've cut the fish out too. So I'm more of a root eater / greens. I am from the islands as well, Trinidad, and I'll tell you, I don't have taste buds, but one things that go down really nicely is porridge for me, and fruit, vegetables, and I'll mash those up with a little sauce, and I'll eat that. I'm good. Like, I'm not a big fry eater. That's not me. And I work out, and I was working out 3 to 4 days a week, faithfully. So I'm physically strong.
Yeah.
I'm physically healthy. Mentally, yeah, I'm still all there. Emotionally, once in a while,
Yeah.
but I still got
I
sick.
like that one. Yeah.
So what I determined my cancers to be was and I'm not gonna lie, my life has been upside down for the past 4 years due to personal issues. And because I stressed those issues so much,
Here.
that's what my tumors were. My tumors were stressors.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm gonna tell y'all,
Same
It
here.
came out.
if you're stressing, which is why we say do your best not to stress,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it is so true.
cancer can be caused by that.
Yes.
Stress.
Yeah,
Don't
Not
have to be
even the fact
hereditary.
that-
Don't have to be
exactly.
hereditary.
yeah,
Right.
that's
Just our
exactly.
life,
So
life on a whole.
in talking to my spiritual coach, Sister Nyango, if you guys know her, she's a dream. That's something that we've been working on, is what my stresses are. But I named my cancers, and she was so surprised. She said, "Your cancers have names?" I said, "Yeah, I know the root cause of my cancers." And I can tell you that sometimes God makes you sit down because there are things that you need to work on. And for me, that is what I need to work on. So all the uncomfortable I'm feeling right now, because I don't complain, you won't hear me complaining. And trust me, there's a lot to complain about. I will tell you, it's worth it, because in the end, when I come out of this, and I will come out of this, okay, I am going to be healthy, not just physically, not just mentally, but also emotionally, because it's the emotional stress that literally got me here, right? And I'm looking forward to what that looks like for myself. My grandsons are doing great. The other thing about this journey is that it's given me time that I probably would never have gotten with my 6 to 2:30 job if I was going to work every day. Grateful for the company that I've been with for 20-something years, where I can stay home and still get a paycheck and
That's the
heal
goodness
and
of
work through
God.
this and
Goodness
heal
of God. Yep.
and spend time with my grandkids.
Do you have
and
a
my
support
daughters.
system?
And my support system.
Incredible.
Oh my
support
goodness.
system.
So,
That's what was lacking for me.
Yeah.
Nobody. So that have a lot to do with your recovery and how your mental state. But when you're out there drifting in the ocean by yourself, it's not
So-
a good place. So
because
that is
I've had
wonderful.
a great, not just social media platform, but a lot of the people I've met on social media have become really great, more than acquaintances, but family, sister friends, my village. I am the founder of Your Inner Goddess Experience. I started that organization back in 2008, and it was because I was a mother and I needed support. And I needed women to understand that they weren't going through this by themselves. And I needed to see that I wasn't going through motherhood and being a woman by myself. And we weren't all, whatever it is, questions that you can possibly think of that deals in being a woman, we ask those questions.
Oh,
we tackle
wonderful.
those questions.
What's the name of the?
Your Inner Goddess Experience.
Oh, okay.
And so that being said, I have a village that's so extensive that when I say these women love on me, I can't fathom a life without them because they are amazing. Right, Mama Teresa?
She's like, I
She's
love
one of
you.
them. It's like,
Yeah,
girl.
yeah. That's a plus.
And
That's a
because
plus.
of that, when I reached out and I announced my diagnosis to the public, I simply said, it is in my opinion, God is trying to tell me something. And not only that, I am the vessel that he is using. God said, y'all ain't praying enough. God said, y'all ain't praying enough. What are we going to do about it? He needs prayers to go up because prayers is what lifts the world up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that day when I announced it, the amount of people that reached out and prayed over me, I mean, on the phone, I got hour-long prayers. I felt the house come like shake. It was good. The amount of prayers that I got from, the people on social media, it was overwhelming, but it was beautiful.
Amen.
And I said to people, all I ask is that you keep me in your prayers. So, don't say you're going to do it. Just do it.
Do it.
You don't have to announce to me that you're doing it. Just do it. Because God knows what you're doing regardless. You don't got to tell me. He can hear you, right?
He was a comfort to me, too. I remember when I was told that I had to lose my breast. I mean, that's every woman's pride, their breasts. And it was a hard task to accept. And I started dramaing the whole thing. So when I went in the shower, I used to take this arm and put over the breast and to see how it's going to look like. And then I started to talk to myself to convince myself, oh, but when I was younger, it was just a little dot on my chest. So what if it's back there? And I remember when I actually did the surgery, I was crying. And I remember the voice of God, just like somebody was right there. And he said, you have lost a breast, but you haven't lost me.
Exactly.
And that's where the strength came to move on, because we can't stay there. We can't stay in the hurt. And I started loving myself more. And many times when we hear about cancer, we think, oh, we're done for. And I always say, my experience is being diagnosed with cancer, it can actually, it means the beginning of life too. Because you start to love yourself more, you start to pay more attention, you start to be more aware of the things that you eat, the things that, it's not only what we consume, but it's also the products that we use, the roll-ons, the utensils we cook into. So it's a broad thing. It's not just what we put in our mouths. And that's what I have been learning. It's even the fabric that we wear, the clothing. So I've learned a lot through this journey. And I'm a very private person. And it took me some time to share. Just my immediate family knew about this. And I asked them, if it's going to be shared, let it be me. I don't want anybody, because I wanted to be comfortable with me dealing with this until when. No, I tell it to anybody now. I don't care the fact that I'm here. I just want to help. I am very sensitive where cancer is concerned, that even when we're at work, I saw a lady one day and she had the phone in her bosom here on her breast. And I was so alert by it. I said, oh my God, can you just take that phone out of your... And I said, I'm a cancer survivor and I'm just sensitive to people. I just want to protect. Because I find myself in this protective mode, just want to protect. I don't want anybody have the experience that I'm having if I can prevent it. And I was sharing with them, and her husband was so grateful. He keeps on saying to me, I'm so thankful for you to share this. So there's a lot we can do out there to encourage each other. But as survivors, we need to encourage each other and to encourage others out there. I am really grateful to be a part of this. And I'm hoping that what we're doing here today would help others out there, for them to know that they're not alone. And what I'm happy for is to know that people were staying away from doing the mammogram because of insurance. Now I've learned that the mobile bus that goes around, it's free. And I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm really grateful for that. When I shared about the 25-year-old, she lost her life.
Yeah.
She had cancer and she died.
Yeah.
You know, so age is just a number now. It's, you know, it's any age.
Yeah.
Any age can get cancer. So, Paula, again, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. And I hope we don't stop here.
Right.
I hope we continue to spread the word, and I'm pleading with people to support Gardner's House.
Yes.
We need the finance. There's a lot of us in the group that needs help, that is struggling, and you know, there's nobody that is out there that is assisting. And our leader here, Miss Gardner, she's trying her best, but she's only one person, and she can do so much and no more. So.
Yeah.
You know, we just have to keep supporting each other the best way we can.
Yeah.
Sorry about the tears. I
No,
was
don't apologize.
to Hillary. When you said that you had a support system,
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about the support system. I was invited to participate in the Susan G. Komen Walk at the Bushnell Park in Hartford not too long ago in Pinktober, October. And I joined Hillary's team. She's wearing her shirt that says, I am my priority. And let me tell you, this was one of the biggest teams. There were shirts like that everywhere. It was just like a sea of love. And I know everyone does not have that, as you can see. Yeah. Some people have no one. Some people like Yolanda did it during COVID. I did it at the tail end of COVID. There were times when my husband would come with me to chemo and they would say, oh, he can't come in. The numbers are too high. And I'd start crying. I can't do it, Father. You got to let him in. But just to see that you, one person, can have an army. I'm talking over 50, 60 people.
Yeah.
And you're new to this, you know, that just rallied around you. I just want you to know that that is a blessing from God.
Amen.
Thank you.
I have a bag of shirts over there from someone that came to the walk and said, give Hillary these shirts for her to take, you know,
I
because
appreciate it.
that's what God can do. He can give you beauty for ashes.
Yeah.
He can turn things around. He could take someone like Miss Maggie, who was almost homeless, who can help someone like me. Because there was a prescription for a medication called Neulasta. You would put it into your arm and it would slowly release.
I get that.
Yeah,
They do it to me.
medication through your whole body,
now.
and I would just lay there sometimes 7, 8 days in a row where it's just going through, and I could barely move. It's just this weird feeling. And then they started saying that my insurance wouldn't cover the Neulasta.
Oh, wow.
So I had to do a generic one where my husband had to stick me with a needle in my stomach, and then it would just like burn. I would just sit there and I could just barely move, could not even make it to the bathroom. And Miss Maggie took my receipt and she was like, I will pay for this for you. What your insurance won't do, I will do for you. And that bill was paid in 24 hours, $680. You see what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like when you hear, who wouldn't serve a God like that? And I know there are organizations like the American Cancer Society or Susan G. Komen, but there's also the little places that are in the community that are saying, here, I'll help you. And she also does a Zoom every other Monday. And it's not just for breast cancer, it's for all cancers. My husband, who's sitting off to the side, is a 2-time kidney cancer survivor.
Amen now.
Very quiet guy, yes. And he joined Gardner's House because he saw what she did directly for me. And she has helped him. And right now, even after being healed from kidney cancer twice, he has stage 5 end stage kidney disease right now. He is on dialysis 9 hours a day, peritoneal dialysis from home, and 7 days a week, no breaks, and he is on dialysis until he gets a kidney. So if there's anyone watching who think that they may want to be interested in organ donation, you can reach me on all social media platforms under Paula Williams, and I could give you the information, because a lot of things that people don't know is, number one, you can live with just one kidney. Number two, if you're out of the state of Connecticut, the Hartford transplant team will fly you to Connecticut. They will pay for your flight,
Wow.
your meals, your hotel, and you will get 6 weeks paid from your job. And if you want to donate a kidney, but you're not a match for Rich, they have something called a swap program, where they will give your kidney to someone else who's high on the list, and then Rich will then get a voucher to get a kidney quicker. Because right now, the waiting list for someone like him is about 7 to 9 years. And that's 7 to 9 years with a catheter dangling from his stomach. That's to plug into a machine, and he's tied to this all night long. So we can't travel, we can't stay out late, we can't do a lot of the things that we used to do. So if you'd like to help save a life, I can't think of a better way to do it. And there's someone that actually works in this building. Her name is Stephanie, and she works in the senior center right up the hallway. And a few months ago, she gave one of her kidneys to someone.
Amen.
And she is doing well. I saw her today, actually. And I said, I'm going to be on Windsor TV this evening talking about breast cancer and kidney donation, things like that. And she was like, wonderful. She even said to me once, I wish I had another one so that I could give it to your husband. So I just want to bring that out there. But it just really, you have 4 women here that are showing what God can do. Hillary, her pictures alone, if I were not following her on Facebook, I would follow her just to look. Her pictures, you're so vibrant.
Yep.
You are like the epitome of, like, you don't look like what you've been through. So
I hear that
I
a lot.
can see that the
I
joy
hear
of
that
the
a lot.
Lord is your strength. Can you tell us what I am my priority means to you?
It is my goddess mantra. And I am my priority is exactly as it says. I am my priority. You cannot expect anyone else to pour into you the way you can pour into yourself. As a mother, as a wife, I've realized, as a sister, as a friend, if I don't take care of me first, I cannot take care of those people that depend on me, right? It's kind of like when you're in an airplane, they tell you the first mask goes on who? You. Then you put the mask on everyone else, right? We have to do better at being selfless in our self-care, especially as women. Men too, but I don't cater to the men because that's not my place. I am not a man. I tell people I'm not a man. As much as the men ask me what can they, to do something for them, I cannot always do events for men because I'm not a man. I don't understand. Right? I can just tell them, y'all need self-care too.
Yes.
Because breast cancer is not just a woman's thing, right? Cancer itself is not just a woman's thing. That's a whole other subject. But what I was saying was, I am my priority. And this is what I live by. This is my Bible, basically. And I love being an example of that, because in being an example of that, is the reason why I have followers, is the reason why I have a village, is the reason why people migrate to me, because they see it, they see how it works, and they're like, I want some of that too for myself. You can have it. I can't give it to you,
Right.
but I can teach you how to do it. Just show up. So like when I create events, my events are created with the mindset of to be present and mindful. Because if you're not present and mindful, then you'll start to notice it in the things that you're doing in the 3 to 4 hours that I put aside for us to spend time together, right? During the summer, I create beach events, and it's usually in the middle of the week for the women, because of the fact that who will take the middle of the week off and say I'm going back to work on Thursday, right? Not barely anyone, but for some reason I tend to get about 50 women to go to the beach with me in the summer, probably once or twice a year. Last year I only did it once because I knew what my diagnosis was and I wouldn't be able to do it for the rest of the summer. But it's a great experience because it's a time when you just literally put aside all the stresses in the world that you can possibly think of. You leave it in the parking lot or wherever you parked your car and you hop on the beach and you just have a great day of fun.
Sign us up.
Right?
We're going next year.
And that's like my big event. So last year, since the pandemic, I really haven't gotten a chance to do the things I would like to do. I've hosted a few events, but always, this last one I just hosted was pumpkin painting. And I did it in support of breast cancer awareness. And literally, I had about 25 women get together and we pumpkin painted. And we had a great time. I got all the supplies that they needed and it was such a great time. And of course, the videos don't lie because there's videos out there.
Yeah.
But I've been really focused on being present and mindfully present because that is important. That is something that we don't give ourselves. And a lot of us feel bad because, but then when you sit here and think about it, I look at my diagnosis, I look at my tumors, and I'm just like, I wasn't focused enough in the past 4 years. So me, myself, and I have to remind myself that I am my priority.
Yes.
Right? And I can't worry about the people and the naysayers that don't meet my energy, that can't see it for the gift that it is. Because there are people out there that do see it. Okay? And what I've learned along the way is sometimes the people that we want to see us isn't going to see us. And you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I tell people, I don't look like what I've been through or what I'm going through, because at the end of the day, God's got me. I got a testimony that's coming that y'all ain't even ready for.
Yes, yes.
But God's got me, and I'm grateful that I know that for myself.
Yes.
I don't know how many people could say it like that.
That's so true.
I'm also want to say this too. One of my blessings too is I didn't have to do chemo or radiation, so I have no experience of that. And for that, I'm really grateful. So I'm really blessed. I continue to be blessed. And something that God works out for me, I don't know how, but I just know that there's a God who cares and who understands. And we are a living testimony of his goodness.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that for people who are feeling scared to, to know that not everybody who is diagnosed with cancer have to do chemo. We don't, because I'm evidence of that. That once it's caught early, you don't have to go through chemo or
And
radiation.
Every treatment is different.
Everybody's
treatment is
Right.
different. So I've heard people getting surgery first, and then the chemo or radiation after. For me, it was we're gonna do chemo first, and then surgery after, and then possibly back to chemo or radiation depending on the outcome of my surgery. I'm hoping for neither. I'm hoping that when I go in there, me and my doctor talk, like, look, this is it. Because what I had issue with was my port. And with my port, for some reason, I think that thing turned on its side, caused an infection. It took me advocating for myself over and over again and saying that this port does not feel right. Something does not feel comfortable about it. Something is not right. Finally, the incision opened up with where the port was. It was infected. They had to take it out. So they just took it out in October. Here it is, November, and it's starting to heal up. But when I say there's a throbbing pain that goes with that healing, and I feel it, that goes like up my neck. Again, I don't complain, but I feel it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, and then there's a huge dent in my right in here. Okay. So I'm just like, okay, I hope to God we don't have to go back to the port. I hope to God I don't need to have chemo or radiation after.
Yeah.
So that's just because this is not a quality of life.
Yeah.
And I always said to people who are going through, ask your doctor if it's absolutely necessary for you to have chemo or radiation. Because sometimes they have like a package, as you said, could be surgery first, chemotherapy or chemotherapy. But because now they are coming up with new treatments, like immune therapy and all of that.
Yeah.
So find out if it's absolutely necessary for you to have those kinds of treatment?
Yeah, my last few treatments have been in my arm,
Out through your arm.
through my
okay.
vein. I mean, you feel it. I just sit there and just take it and just pray for the 4 hours to be done.
Yeah.
And then I go home and I'm out for like a good week.
And sometimes the plan changes, you know? Like I was supposed to have surgery first, and then my tumor is something that's called HER2 positive. And like you said, they have long names, and I'm not sure what that all means, but I know that it was, I could remember HER2 positive. It started at 1.7 centimeters. Then a couple weeks later with the biopsy where you have to get on your knees and they push you in the machine and you can't move, that determined that it was 2.5 centimeters.
Oh, yours is like
Then
mine, yeah.
within a little month after that, 5 centimeters and growing. And it went from something where I didn't even feel it. My mammogram said that I was fine. It was the ultrasound that found it.
Yep.
Yes. And my grandmother, who I did not know that she had breast cancer, my dad told me that she had breast cancer, and I had never known. Her name was Pauline. I was born, they named me Pauline. 2 days after he told me that, he passed away tragically in New York City. So had he not told me that, I would have went on a whole nother year because the mammogram was fine. And so we were doing the chemo first to try to kind of get rid of all the cells and I say make the cancer go away. But we did the chemo first and then we did the surgery. And I had a double mastectomy, which I didn't know. I saw my support groups on Facebook, people would write, I'm having a DMX, I'm having a DMX. I only knew the rapper, DMX. I was like, I remember writing, what is a DMX? And somebody wrote, it's when you have a double mastectomy. And here I am, double mastectomy, both breasts removed is what it means. And so I had both breasts removed. I have 2 lines here. I call myself flat, happy, and healed. But when I went in to have the breast removed, I went home the very next day. 2 days after that, I started feeling a little weird. I was having my ears were popping. I was seeing all these gray circles. The drains that they send you home from the hospital that were just like a drip were overflowing with blood to the point where my husband took one of the drains and sucked it in his mouth to try to suck out the blood to give me some relief. He threw me in the car. I only had on my pajamas. It was raining. It was a Saturday night. He got in touch with my breast cancer surgeon, called her to a hospital she doesn't even work at. And she came to that hospital, which is Hartford Hospital, and that's not where I had my first surgery. So I had 2 surgeries in 4 days, and I am still able to stand here and say that God is a healer. I kept reading 2 Kings 20:5 that says, I've heard your prayers, I've seen your tears, and I will heal you. And that's exactly what God did. And tonight we talked a lot about the support system, and you, Yolanda, was during COVID, and then you are here where people can, you know, hug you and visit you and stuff like that. I was kind of like in the middle. I had something that was called an encouragement parade where my friend Lara Lee and Racina, they cut down this street, because I live on this street, Manianic to Rude. They hired Windsor police officers to be the escorts, and over 50, 60 cars just came down the street, beeping their horns, saying, we love you, Paula. You can do this. You got this. They were dropping over flowers and cards. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And then they went on to my friend Ollie's house, who had colorectal cancer. So they left this street and they migrated over to where she was. And then they did the same thing, holding up signs, beeping horns, and the Windsor police officer led them down Root Avenue all the way up to the Pequannock area where she was. And so we were able to do that, and even then people couldn't really like hug me, but they were just saying, you can do this, you got this. Even the people that just waved or beeped their horns, it was just a blessing. And so in conclusion, I just need to say this. Maggie's the queen of Gardner's House, but we also had a princess of Gardner's House, and that princess was someone named Christine Nelson. Christine recently celebrated her 40th birthday just about 3 weeks ago. She had this beautiful party. She wore this long dress. She danced with my mother. My mother doesn't even dance, and she had my mother on the dance floor dancing. The week before that, Miss Maggie got the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yes.
There was a red carpet. Christine walked the red carpet. And then just a little over a week ago, Christine met me at MLK School, and she wanted to do a presentation to the students at the school to talk to them about mammograms and telling their moms and aunties to get mammograms. We shot that video. It's on YouTube under Chrissy Warrior, and you can find that under Paula Williams on YouTube. Not even a week later, and she drove herself to that interview, mind you. Less than a week after that, she had already been battling metastatic breast cancer, where it spread from her breast to her spine to her lungs to her brain. And a few days later, she was in ICU and she was not speaking at all. And so a little over a week after her shooting this interview at the elementary school, at the elementary school, she gained her wings and she passed away on this Saturday. And she was just filled with so much love and excitement, and all the flyers for the things that Gardner's House has. She designed those. She designed the tickets. She did so much for Miss Gardner. I know she was like a daughter to you. And so it's a huge loss. We haven't even had her service yet, but at 40 years old, so full of life. She left behind 2 young boys. I think we have a flyer that has ways to give if anyone wants to be a blessing to her family who's trying to plan her homegoing service and actually get her body back to Jamaica, where she's from. I could even send you that flyer too as well. But so prayers go up to her family, and I want to thank everyone who's watching. We want to thank Hillary's
Just say one
tribe.
more thing before the end.
Yes.
Before we close out, in conclusion, what I want to say to the public is this. I understand for those that, you're not public like I am, like you're not as transparent. Be transparent with your kids, be transparent in your family, share your medical history, especially if you have children, because it is unfair to have a diagnosis that no one knows about and can help you. It is unfair to watch a person die. It is unfair. Share the information. Write it down somewhere. If you don't want to talk about it, write it in a place where you know people will find it, so people can know what it is that they have in their DNA at some point. That's all.
Yes, good point.
Well, I just want to say, as Hillary was speaking, probably you guys want to know why Miss Maggie was crying. It was revealed to me that there are a lot of people out there who are in the valley. There are some of us, or some people, that are on the mountaintop. So as you talk about your support system, you had somebody there, right? Even if you were trying to slip back into the valley, you had people to push you up. But there are those out there right now who's watching us and listening. I know you're going through the valley. I've been in the valley, but always remember, in the valley, he restores your soul. And it's not always bad to be in the valley. Not everyone can be on the mountaintop. So that is why tears come to my eyes. It's not that I'm sad, is what was revealed to me in that particular moment. And then it took me back just that instant to where I was in the valley and in this dark room where you can't get out. But I just want to let you know that you can, because with God all things are possible. And one of the things I always encourage people to be kind. Kindness is going to help you. When you're kind to people, be kind to yourself. As Ms. Hillary said, love on yourself, but always remember to be kind.
And give
regardless of
grace.
your circumstances.
Amen.
Yep. And give grace.
Amen. And greater is He that is in us than he that is in the world. The word of the
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
With these ladies. Oh my God.
Thank you.
I'm so thankful, so grateful. One thing I said about Hillary, she's such an inspiration. When she was going through, she was always putting inspiring messages out on the Book of Faces. And she would send me messages even when I was down and wasn't even going through what she was. She would send me messages. So you ladies have inspired me so much. And to
Thank
the
you.
Facebook audience, we share so many things that are negative. This
Yeah.
is something that's so positive,
That's
and
right.
so needed.
Yes.
So I'm asking you to share this because it's so needed. Young people, old people, they need to get checked. And so I really thank each and every one of you for coming on. And remember, not only the ladies here, but our brother Rich. Remember him.
Yes.
Yes.
That, he's in need of that,
A
kidney.
kidney.
Yes.
So I thank you ladies again.
Thank
God
you for
bless
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
You just lifted my spirits, and so anytime you need me, I'll be around. And I really thank you for
Thank you.
everything. God bless each and
Yep.
every one of you.
Thank
And you guys out there, you have a good day, night, or whenever you watch this program.
Share
And I
it, share
thank
it.
you for watching.
And thank you for having us.
Share it and support it.
Yes.
It's in your community.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All
Yes.
right now.